Every champion in WWE is in jeopardy. That's right. Myself and Alex Steve are in a hot seat, and we're going to predict the next champion of every championship that is on Raw and SmackDown main roster championships, which also includes the Speed Championship. As this is a trial video, we're not going to include NXT on this round. But if you like this series and you want to see it on a monthly basis, then you let us know in the comments below right now. And next month, NXT will be featured. So NXT, welcome to the video. It's great to have you on board. Let's start off with the Women's Tag Team Championships. Who are going to be the next champions in your opinion?
Honestly, I was going to pick JC Jane and Fallon Henley, but obviously they're in a 6-women tag match at time of recording this week on NXT, so I've gone with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler because I feel they're two people that desperately need something and they need a big win and they need to do something with them to get them back on TV on a regular basis.
I would really like to see that. I think that'd be a really great selection. I really like the group, the Pure Fusion Collective. I don't like the name as much. I don't like they're losing as much, but I like them as a group. I think they've got a lot of potential, and I think to have them win the Women's Tag Team Championships would certainly put them in the right direction, especially if they were going into WrestleMania season.
Yeah, agreed. And like I said, it's just to get Zoe Stark back on TV because it's criminal that she's not on TV more. Like I've been said, and every time we've done a review, this woman was fighting for a world title at the start of the year, and she's now kind of in the midst of fine dining in the catering section of WWE.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, WWE Bad Blood, for giving me my answer. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, of course, two-time former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I think that they together have enough to win the women's tag team titles from Bianca and Jade, who feel like superheroes at this point. It's very difficult to get the titles off of them. So why not have someone who's a current world champion and someone that's pretty much keeping that person a world champion as being your next WWE Women's Tag Team Champions?
Yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair. I didn't even think of that. I was like, that's actually a really good answer.
I have to see if it will materialize or not. So let's move on into the men's tag team titles, and let's start off with our favorites, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Yeah. Who's going to win those WWE Tag Team Championships on SmackDown?
There is no standout name that's currently on the roster, so they're going to bring in someone. The Motor City Machine Guns, I believe, are going to debut and take them tag team titles off of the Bloodline.
Motor City. Oh, I absolutely cannot wait to see them as a part of the SmackDown roster. I think that would be awesome. I'd love to counteract it and say Penta and Rey Fenix, the Lucha Bros, but obviously we know time has apparently reportedly been added to Phoenix's contract. So I think we can think the Lucha Bros, it could be about a year before they could be coming to WWE at this stage. So I love the fact you picked the Motor City Machine Guns. They are one of the best tag teams to have not been in WWE, to have not won tag team titles. However, I'm thinking big. I'm thinking WrestleMania. I'm thinking Jimmy and Jay. I'm thinking the Usos are taking those gold from the Guerrillas of Destiny.
It's a good shout. My only problem is like that's a long time for the Tongans to be tag team champions. Like, you honestly telling me they're going to hold it for the next 6 months until WrestleMania? I can see them losing them. They could possibly re-win them before WrestleMania, but I think if you've got a hot tag team like the Motor City Machine Guns coming in, have them come in big, be a mystery opponent, have them win tag team championships on their first night in the company.
Oh, I like it. Coming big, coming strong. To be honest, I want to see the Motor City Machine Guns do it. I'm not going to lie to you, but hey, I'm going to play the long game with this one, and I don't want our answers to match each and every time, so I go with the Usos. Let's go with the Raw Tag Team Championships then. Let's go with JD McDonough and Finn Balor, of course, the World Tag Team Champions at present. Who do you have that's taking the titles from them?
Very kind of same answer. I can't really see anyone on that roster that's currently in a position where they can say, yeah, we're going to take them titles. So I'm going to go with the returning War Raiders. I'm going to reckon Eric and Ivar are going to return, and they're going to take them tag team titles off, and we're going to get the NXT version of that tag team once they come back onto the roster.
Will Valhalla be wearing the antlers when they do it?
Probably. And Michael Cole's going to love it.
To be honest, I think that's an exceptional answer. It's certainly outside the box. It's something I had not thought of or considered. And I think that, like you say, I think the Raw Tag Team division does need to kick up the backside a little bit at this particular time. So, yeah, I think that would be a good addition to the roster to have Eric and Ivar there. Look, it's a bit carbon copy and paste, but the last answer I looked into the long-term future. This one, I'm looking into the short-term future. I'm looking onto the road to War Games or to Survivor Series. I'm going for Jey Uso and Sami Zayn to win the tag team titles together beforehand. And I think that can lead then to Judgment Day versus Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn going into the War Game structure.
I like the sound. It's a very logical booking. You're going very story based. I like it. I can see it happening. Like I said, I think your answer has, you know what I mean, has merit to it, and I think it's a possibility.
I'll have to wait and see what will materialize. Well, let's move on then to the singles championships, and you've told me that the Candice LeRae has won the first ever women's speed championship. So congratulations to Candice LeRae to make this entrance here. Who's going to be taking the title from her? Bless her, she's only just won it.
Someone who I think is not at the current moment ever destined to win a title. I'm going to go with Maxine Dupree.
Shoosh. Do you know what?
Exactly.
I think it would be a great starting point for Maxine Dupree. You can see she's improving. Is she at the level of everybody else? Perhaps not quite yet, but look, she's learning on the job. She's doing it on Monday Night Raw. She's not someone who's been in the Performance Center or been on the Indies for 10 years before coming here. So I think it's an excellent shout. And obviously, short matches as well probably would suit her at this particular time. So I really like your answer. You're actually thinking outside the box, but there's some logic in there as well. I really like it. For me, I've gone with Naomi, just because of the fact that I feel that she's someone that's come from another company. Obviously, she came from TNA earlier this year. She's not really worked into the top championship picture storyline at this moment. She had a couple of title opportunities or number one contenders matches, but she's always sort of like bridesmaid, never the bride. So I think her way of getting to a championship at the moment, I think the women's speed title is the most logical one.
Yeah, I mean, my only issue, like, there's an issue with both of our answers here. One is that Maxine Dupree is going to be Candice LeRae, which I think is insane. And the other, my answer for yours is, although it is a good shout, I really think the speed title is below Naomi, and it's kind of like, but that's just the problem we have when there's so many people on this roster. And I suppose it's the best hand you could possibly play with, do you know what I mean, without putting Naomi in a world title scene. So it is a really good answer.
Let's see how it will materialize. And obviously, we move over to the men's side. Then Andrade is the current champion at this particular time. Who would you see taking the title from him?
Someone who's criminally underused. I've gone with Dragon Lee. I think that guy honestly needs something to. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of stuck in limbo in the LWO, and I'd like to see him do something. And I think, like, at the minute, his best bet is speed title.
That's my favorite answer of everything so far. I would love to see Dragon Lee in that position, just because of the fact, like you said, it's not quite working out, and I don't know why. He's been thrown into the LWO to be the next Rey Mysterio, but he's just been thrown into the LWO, if that makes sense. That they stopped the sentence there. So I hope for him that he does sort of materialize and he does grow into the next Rey Mysterio, and presentation-wise on WWE, more big, memorable moments and matches. But in the meantime, the Speed Championship could just be up his alley, and a high-flying person as well really seems to suit that style. And obviously, him and Andrade to have matches together, I think that's fantastic, even if it's only for 3 minutes. For me, I've gone for Pete Dunne, just because, again, someone that you could argue has been criminally underused in WWE, but at the same time, he's been getting momentum as of late. He's in a program with Sheamus right now. He's gone for the NXT Championship on a couple of occasions. For him to actually have some gold in WWE, I think Triple H would like to see that materialize. So I think right now, the Speed Championship could work well for him, although I do think he's kind of anti the structure because he's more about working on body parts and limbs. But if he goes straight for the fingers or try to dismantle someone within a minute and a half of a match, I think he can get the job done.
Yeah, I like it, but don't like it because it's like, for me, that's criminally underusing Pete Dunne. You're having him do 3-minute matches on X or wherever they broadcast these. Do you know what I mean? So I like it, but I hate it at the same time.
I can understand that indeed then. Right then, let's move on then to the United States Championship. Who do you have taking the title from LA Knight?
I've gone with a safe answer with this one, and I've gone with Carmelo Hayes. I think that he's on the rise. Obviously, he is new to the roster this year. I think it's a good way of elevating Carmelo Hayes, so I'm going to say him.
I think he's an excellent shout. I think he is one of, if not the next big thing in WWE, and I think he's been presented in such a great way since coming to the roster. Obviously, the best of 7 series with Andrade that's been going on. They've had some fantastic matches. Obviously, they did have him in a match with AJ Styles. He's taken on Cody Rhodes on a couple of occasions. Like, big things are in the future for Carmelo. He's definitely destined to hold that championship. It's kind of a when, not if scenario. So I think it is an excellent selection. For me, This is someone I think you're going to say again, it's criminally underusing them, but this person's not had a singles championship for a while. And seemingly, if you've seen fan footage, just turned heel recently, I'm going with one Kevin Owens because I think that that feels like a big time match that you could do, say, at a WrestleMania. I could see Logan Paul trying to get the title from LA Knight in between this time. Again, when he does come back, I think LA Knight will prevail. But I think that when he comes to the likes of Kevin Owens, I think that's when you can make a title switch.
I don't actually mind this. I know it should be criminally underused, but Kevin Owens has that history with the United States title. Like, it was what he won. Like, obviously, he beat John Cena for it when he first debuted on the main roster, and he kind of has a lineage with it. I don't actually mind this answer. It is underusing Kevin Owens, but at least you're doing something productive with him, and he's holding championship gold. So I'll take it.
Absolutely. I would not say no to it. It's been, I think it's like 7 years since he's held singles gold in WWE, and it was the United States Championship. So, yeah. I think it's time that he gets another singles title in his arsenal. Yeah. It was that or Jacob Fatu for me, but at the moment, I think Jacob is destined for bigger and better things. But let's go on for the Intercontinental Championship. I am intrigued to see what you've got to say here.
Mine is completely left ball. It's completely out the field. I'm going with Dominic Mysterio. I have some fantasy booking for a future video that we're planning on doing. So for me, Dominic Mysterio, I reckon, is going to be the next Intercontinental Champion.
I think it's the right time for him to win the IC title. It's not my choice. It is the right time because he's someone that has been elevated so well in the last 2 years with his character work, and he's really got over so well in the process. He's obviously now got the Judgment Day stable around him. He's, of course, got his squeeze in Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan now has Raquel Rodriguez, who's helping Liv keep the championship. Could Raquel be someone that could help Dominic win the IC title? It certainly could be a possibility.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to spoil my future booking, you know, but trust me, stay tuned because I'm about to spill some stuff, and like it could be like the greatest thing I've ever produced in terms of future booking.
I like it. I can't wait for it as well. And just to give everyone a heads up of when that will be, that'll be on the week that the WrestleMania tickets are released. That give you a hint of what video we could be discussing. But for me, I'm going to go with Chad Gable, just because, come on, Chad Gable needs to win the singles championship. He's American made after all. I need him with Kurt Angle by his side, just to give him a bit of mentorship as well with the group, just to kick it up a notch for him. But on a serious and honest note, Chad Gable has done some amazing work in 2024. I think he deserves that reward. And now that a babyface is holding that championship again, I think that Chad Gable should be the right person to take the title next.
Dude, I've been saying it all year, justice for Chad Gable. I really like this answer. I almost, to be fair, picked the Creed brothers as my tag teams to take them off of JD and Finn as well. But I just like the whole heel dynamic obviously plays into it. But obviously, no, I love that, man. If Dominic doesn't win it, honestly, I think Chad Gable should win it, man, because like I said, he's deserved it. He's put in some really hard work this year.
He really has indeed. Let's move on then to the Women's Championship. Nia Jax. Who do you see taking the title from Nia?
A safe guess this one. I'm going with Tiffany Stratton. I think, like, obviously with Crown Jewel coming up within the next 4 weeks, I think that that cash-in is probably imminent. So I'm going with Tiffany Stratton.
It is the safe bet. I think it's also the most realistic bet as well at this point. The story is that Nia is bullying Tiffany to the point that Tiffany will eventually want to cash in that title on Nia Jax. I think that when it does, Tiffany's going to get a big monster pop in the process of it happening, and I think she'll get massively over as well in doing so. So I think Tiffany will walk into WrestleMania season as the women's champion, and yeah, I think that she will be the one taking it from Nia Jax. And like you say, it could be in the next 4 weeks. How about... Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, it might even be at Crown Jewel. Like, I don't like the idea of Nia versus Liv, but I think if you're gonna play that story out, I think Crown Jewel having Tiffany cash in could be the one.
It could actually be the one. Certainly, that means then that yeah, that'd be really exciting, because actually a championship does change hands on that show, despite the fact that they're doing the champion versus champion process. I actually like the idea quite a lot. How about Liv Morgan, the women's world champion?
Sorry, was you agreeing with me as well, Tiffany Stratton as well?
I was agreeing with you, yes.
Okay. Yes. Liv Morgan, dude, I didn't want to say Rhea Ripley because I felt like it was a cop-out easy answer, so I'm going to say returning Becky Lynch takes that title from Liv Morgan.
Fantastic answer. Obviously, Becky does have the history with Liv Morgan as well. But hey, when it comes to safe answers, Mr. Safe over here, Rhea Ripley is going to be the one. Again, I feel something is going to twitch in the next 4 weeks with one of these women's championships. So if it's not Tiffany cashing in, I think it's Rhea that's winning the title. And we can get Rhea versus Nia one more time at Crown Jewel. So yeah, I'm going to go for Rhea Ripley to be the next women's world champion. It just feels destined. But let's move on then from one world title to another. The World Heavyweight Championship, the Ring General Gunther, who is taking the title from him.
I have gone with, I'm thinking ahead to WrestleMania. I'm going with Seth Rollins because I reckon we're still going to get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Early prediction, I think Punk's winning the Rumble, and that's how we get this match. And we need to put that title on Seth Rollins to get it.
Fantastic. I want to see Gunther versus Seth Rollins. I think that would be a monster match to do. I'd be really excited for that. It's funny how minds can think alike, though, because I thought of a similar thing of you of having the World Heavyweight title match with Seth Rollins and CM Punk at WrestleMania. However, I've gone with a different person to win the title. I've gone with CM Punk.
Dude, even's fine with me, man. I just... The problem I have is the believability of having Punk beat Gunther. And it's kind of like, Punk is like a 40-something-year-old guy, 50-something-year-old guy at this point. And for him to be arguably one of the most dominant champions we've had in the business in the last few years, I find it really hard to believe. So I like the idea. Like, so your one probably works out a bit more, because then if you have Seth win at Mania, sounds a lot better than having Punk lose a main event at WrestleMania, like not winning the title. Do you know what I mean? So yours is probably the more logical.
My only reason of thinking that Punk this way works better is because of the fact that last year they were going to have CM Punk jump through the hoops to get to WrestleMania, but obviously he got injured, he got put on the shelf for a very long time, and I think that they might want to do the cotton wool job. Having a safe match, although probably a bruised chest against Gunther, is probably worth doing that one match to get him the world title rather than having to go through a Rumble or an Elimination Chamber to do so. Seth is in more of the conditioned. You would suggest anyway, he's been injured himself quite a bit this year in the last 12 months. However, you would imagine that Seth would be the guy that would be able to jump through those hoops to get to WrestleMania, to get to CM Punk, because after all, I think he would be the one that would be desperate to take that title from CM Punk as well.
Yeah, and yours, I suppose, makes a bit more sense with how TV's being booked in a minute, because obviously Seth has got this whole thing with Bronson Reed, and we very well may find out tonight Punk may come out and be Gunther's next challenger, and we could essentially get the mirror of what I said, and we get Seth winning the Rumble to face Punk at Mania. So it's yours is probably, like I said, if we're doing it in percentages, yours is definitely like 60-40 in your favour at the minute.
We'll have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, we both see Punk versus Rollins at WrestleMania, and I think we would not complain with that, however it was presented to us. But last but not least, and this is probably the one that everyone's been waiting for, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the current undisputed WWE champion, who takes the title from Cody.
Hardest one to predict, because I don't honestly know when Cody's going to lose that championship. Like, I'm like, could he lose it at Rumble? Could he lose it at Chamber? Could he lose it at Mania? I ain't got a clue. I think if the earliest he's going to lose it, it probably is going to be Mania. Although I've gone with a safe bet, yet a wild bet. I've gone with The Rock. I think if they're going to do Cody versus The Rock, if you take that title off of him and then they do Roman versus Rock for the title, I'd be okay with that. My problem is what you do with Cody if that's the plan for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that is the big question, because obviously my answer I thought was going to raise eyebrows, or certainly one. I was going to go with The Rock as well to be the answer. And like you say, WrestleMania champion, who is the WWE champion versus the People's Champion, because Rock holds that People's Championship. He's going to make it a thing. It's the new FTW Championship, whether you like it or not. We probably should be saying who's taking that off of The Rock. It's probably Cody. But at the same time, I think, like you said, The Rock beating Cody Rhodes makes sense in a way to then get ourselves to Rock versus Roman Reigns. So I think that's the presentation they're looking for. But yeah, time will tell what happens to Cody, but I guess it's all about redemption. Once the babyface loses that title, it's about dusting himself off and trying to get back again, or he goes after the World Heavyweight title on Monday Night Raw. Yeah,
I mean, the only other thing is like, obviously the idea of the triple threat is there. The problem is the idea of the singles match, Rock versus Roman or Rock versus Cody, I think is more of a draw than the triple threat at the minute, because you're essentially like, unless it's done right, or you can possibly find a fourth name to throw in there somewhere. I don't know. Stone Cold Steve Austin as a, do you know what I mean? Just a complete curveball. Someone who like just stack the odds against the Rock. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but like I said, I think like the singles idea is more interesting at the minute, and that's why I worry that Cody will be kind of just stuck in limbo doing something else, like hopefully not hosting WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? But he'll actually have a match on the card.
Fingers crossed he will do. I imagine. I mean, there's so many feuds waiting for him. He's got Kevin Owens probably in the short term. Obviously, Roman Reigns is waiting there. The Rock, Randy Orton. There's a plenty for him to do. So I'm sure he will be okay. Whatever comes next for Cody Rhodes after dropping the championship. But that's our predictions then for who we think will be the next champions in WWE. It's now time to let us know what you think in the comments below. Who will put the text down there for you to copy and paste, and you can put who you think will be the next champion. But NXT, thanks for being part of the video. It's been great to have you here.
Dude, always a pleasure. And it's always fun to go back and look at these in a month's time and be like, wow, I guess I was completely wrong about that. So yeah, I look forward to being wrong about most of these answers.
This is the beauty of this series, is to see how many we can get right, but probably more realistically, how many did we get wrong? But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well. And why not check out the Crown Jewel match card predicted video on the side of the screen right now. Thank you for watching. Take care. We'll see you for the next video.